Hello guys, Crispy here and welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a GeForce RTX 4080 in Red Dead Redemption 2. This one is the Founders Edition version of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers as usual, and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups GPU-Z. This is a 16GB GPU, and resizable bar is also enabled. Finally, over on the left, we're pairing it with the i5 13600K, overclocked to 5.6 GHz and 32GB of DDR5 6000 MHz RAM, and this won't bottleneck the 4080 whatsoever in this game. So let's get right into it, shall we? Let's go over the settings first. I'm starting this at 1080p, and we're also going to test 1440p, 4K, 8K, and possibly higher with the help of resolution scale. And we're using the complete maxed out settings, which are extremely intensive, aside from like MSAA, of course, as well as water physics. This is turned down a notch because I gained like 10 FPS just by doing that. And the tree tessellation is also turned off because, well, I usually don't turn it on. It doesn't really matter for the visuals, and it also hurts performance like a lot. So let's go to the game right now. This is native 1080p, maximum settings. Almost. And it's getting a high refresh rate experience. As you can see, it feels buttery smooth. I'm actually using 120 Hz right now on my capture card, which is nice. And yeah, it's basically gonna be flawless. Of course, this area isn't really the most intensive one. We're gonna get there in just a little bit. But these FPS are so high that for a single-player title, you don't even need these. You know, that's why the RTX 4080 isn't really meant for 1080p gaming. Let's go this way. I think this is where we find Jack usually, like on top of this little hill here. Wait a second, this is probably not where Jack is. God damn it, why can't I find Jack, dude? Like, I found him twice when I was testing monitors, and now I cannot find him for the life of me. Like, what the hell? I don't understand. Where is that bastard? Anyway, I'm gonna go to the Strawberry Town, which is a little bit more intensive than this area right here, because we got more running water, and the water physics are the most intensive settings in this game, by the way. Yo, Roach! No! No! God, it starts, it can't, like, why? Why can't you jump that crap? Like, I don't understand. You can clearly climb it. Like, what the hell, Roach? Why do you do this to me so often? I just don't understand. I really do suck riding the horse here in Red Dead Redemption 2. I am glad there are no horses in real life anymore, like for us to actually climb on top of and ride around, you know. There are cars now. And I also suck driving. Okay, here we go, guys. Strawberry Town, finally dropping down into the 120s, 110s at times. All right. Yeah, that's really intensive, way more intensive than what we saw previously, but it's still a buttery smooth experience as expected, and still high refresh rate all the way. So no worries, if you have a 1080p monitor with a 4080, well, you should upgrade to 1440p because it makes a huge difference, alright? So let's go ahead and try that out. Okay, here we go. Now I can't really select the 120 Hz anymore, unfortunately, so it's gonna feel a little bit worse to me, but it's the same to you. Everything is exactly the same here. Let's go. Ooh, this is good, actually. So we only lost about like 12 to 15 frames per second here, maybe 10 at times. Like, this is kind of unexpected. I thought it would get lower FPS this time around, just because at 1080p we were only getting like 15 more FPS. So yeah, apparently this scales pretty well here in Red Dead Redemption 2 with the resolution bump. So it makes me hopeful that at 4K it's gonna stay at 60 plus 100% of the time. I think it will because it's a 4080. You know, I remember like the 3090 or 3080 Ti getting a few drops into the 50s actually from time to time at 4K almost max settings, so it makes sense that this one is getting 60 plus. You should get a 1440p high refresh rate monitor with a 4080 or like a 4K high refresh rate monitor, because these cards, the 4080 and 4090, are really fast and great for those resolutions. Of course, the 4090 is a beast in its own. It's way faster than the RTX 4080, but still, this is very fast, as you can see, and it can provide amazing gaming experiences. And once again, Red Dead Redemption 2 maxed out, almost, is super intensive. Like selecting the ultra settings preset, for example, instead of manually bumping every single setting to maximum, like I did, will give you like 20 or 30 more FPS. That's crazy, right? Also, obviously, you still have DLSS in this game if you want even more FPS. I wouldn't use it because it starts looking pretty bad, honestly. I like the added sharpness that it gives, but it might be a little bit too much. And the hair on the horses, as well as on Arthur's head, as well as on everyone else's head, well, it starts looking really terrible. Oh, what happens if we... Huh? Well, no! What? I was really hoping to, like, jump off the cliff and die and go to Saint Denis to check out the FPS there, because that's usually very intensive as well. Let's go! Oh, boy! Now, that's pretty fun. Okay, we're in Saint Denis at this point, my friends, and it's already dipping down into the 90s. That's pretty interesting. I thought it wouldn't, honestly. It's raining as well. Very interesting weather right now, and it makes for pretty interesting reflections, beautiful ones here in Red Dead Redemption 2. Look at that. I really like this. Okay, let's go, Roach. Glad to be back with you, my boy. Let's try to kill Bob. So Bob is usually in this direction, but I think since I just loaded the game instead of like fast traveled or whatever, it's still in the morning. Bob is still sleeping or whatever, and he's not here. I get really mad at this game sometimes. Roach tries to kill us, Jack hugs us and kills us out of love every single time we find him, and well, Bob is not here for us to kill him. Like, what? Yeah, maybe we should stop benchmarking Red Dead Redemption 2, you know? Anyway, it's gonna be a pretty decent experience, as you can see, with 111 FPS, like close to 100 in city areas, as we saw in the Strawberry Town. It also dropped into the lower 100s at times, but not from it. Over here in Saint Denis, it did drop from 100, but it's still buttery smooth, obviously, although we've seen a couple of little stutters, but probably just one-offs, you know. Now let's see the water here. Not a problem. You can see the water physics as well. Looking great here. Really like that. Yeah, all right. It works extremely well here. So let's go up to 4K. All right, this is 3840 by 2160, still using the exact same settings. All right, I'm not going to touch this yet. Maybe at 8K, when it becomes super intensive, I'll try some hardware unboxed optimized settings, which deliver way more FPS. But yeah, as you can see, at 4K resolution, you still don't need to optimize settings. You can just run it completely maxed out aside from the water physics and tree tessellation, and it's gonna run flawlessly. It's getting 70 plus right here. And I mean, if it is getting 70 plus right here, I think it's gonna stay above 60, 100% of the time. Just gonna go back to Saint Denis since that's where we saw the lowest FPS. So apparently a little bit of water and a bit of vegetation isn't really that intensive for the 4080 to handle here at 4K resolution. It's doing a fantastic job. That frame time graph is not perfect. We still see a little spike every now and again, which is pretty weird, but I think locking the FPS will actually get rid of those, yeah, like that, for example. Yeah, that's been happening for a really long time in Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know why. Where did we see the least FPS? It was when I loaded into the game, wasn't it? Really want... Oh, that was noticeable there. Okay, weird. Very weird. Sometimes, by the way, I'm gonna try this out. Disabling triple buffering will help with stuttering, but sometimes enabling it is what helps with stuttering, so yeah. Yeah, you can see that the frame time now is completely wrecked because we disabled triple buffering, so no, that's not what's causing those little spikes. It's just the game. Sometimes it's smooth, other times it has some issues. It depends on the update, basically. Again, if you lock the FPS to 60, it's going to stay at 60 100% of the time. It's not going to stutter, so it's going to be a little bit of a better experience. So let's go to the Strawberry Town. And here we are, back in the river near Strawberry City. This is running water, and it's not dropping our FPS by much, as you can see. 74, 75, mid-70s is what we get inside of the water. And it's looking fantastic once again. Like, this is a really beautiful game, especially almost maxed out at 4K resolution. It's insane. Anyway, let's go this way. I think I heard somebody complaining about Jack being close to him. We're gonna see Jack after all. Hello, little buddy. How's it going? Hello. Oh, give me a hug. I love you too. I love you too. Go away now. No, no, no. Do not kill me. Oh, Jack, why do you do this every single time, mate? It's great to see you, you know, but you could be a little bit more kind with the hugs. I already see Strawberry at the distance, my friends. Oh yes, and we got clear skies as well, no foggy weather. Oh no, Roach, stop it, let's get out of here, thank you. By the way, what is happening? Are you laggy, boy? What the hell? Okay, so it's dropping into the lower 70s this time around, right? Yeah, it might even drop into the 60s at times, but it's not dropping from those values, so everything is okay. 69 right there was the minimum so far. 1% lows, well, those probably come from those little spikes that we're seeing once again here in this city. I guess we're gonna see a little bit of stuttering in every single city if you don't lock your FPS, you know? So yeah, good performance, still great for 4K, and now is where things are gonna crumble. 7680 by 4320 is the next resolution. This is 8K, and 8K is actually 4 times 4K. It's like running 4 4K monitors at once on ultra settings in Red Dead Redemption 2, so of course it just can't handle it. The 4090, however, could probably get like 30 plus, since this one is getting mid-20s here. But yeah, it is too much. This is only good for like screenshots if you want to take those. 25 is a little bit too low. So let's stop it right there and try it out with some DLSS. I usually really like the look of performance DLSS at 8K resolution. It's super close to native 8K, honestly, and it does look better than native 4K as well. This is really, really pretty. And the good thing is, at this res, you can't really see those little dots that I was telling you about on hair and fur, basically. Yeah, it looks very good right now, actually. And it's getting, like, almost double the FPS than we were seeing before. And it is now a really playable experience. I think the 4090 could achieve 60 when I tested that. Of course, the game has had a few updates since then, but it still runs around the same. And yeah, the 4090, of course, is a much better card. For 8K gaming, you will need the 4090, and you also need DLSS, especially games that are as intensive as Red Dead Redemption 2. Still, if you are okay with like 40 plus frames per second, this is not a bad experience. It looks insane. If you have an 8K TV, you will be baffled with the visuals, because it really does look insane. And I don't have an 8K TV, I'm using the SR from Nvidia to run at 8K. It gets the same FPS, maybe it's slightly more intensive this way, as I've been told by a single person, but from my testing, at like 1080p and 1080p DSR, which makes it 4K, it gets exactly the same FPS as native 4K, so there's that. But yeah, anyway, I still can see an improvement in image quality, even comparing it to native 4K resolution. And I think this is a completely breathtaking experience with performance DLSS. But now I am gonna go ahead and lower the graphics settings to the optimized settings from Hardware Unboxed and run it at 8K native again with those settings, because those are way easier to run. Alright guys, just for a little bit of a comparison, I am running 4K again using the optimized settings from Hardware Unboxed, alright? And remember, we were seeing like 70 to 80 FPS right here at the beginning, and now we're seeing 120. And it still looks really, really good. So if you want that higher refresh rate experience, you can still have it at 4K resolution native without any performance DLSS or any DLSS whatsoever, obviously. And yeah, it will look insane still, okay? Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that if you want 100 plus FPS at 4K native, you can still have it while retaining insanely good visuals. Anyway, let's go back to what matters, right? Or what doesn't matter at all, because nobody's playing at 8K. But still, I'm curious, alright? 8K is now enabled again. This is native res, alright? Not using DLSS again. So, let's go ahead and check it out. Oh boy, that's not a bigger improvement. I mean, from 25 to 35, it's actually pretty decent, right? Ooh, I'm seeing some weirdness there by the shore. Look at that. What the hell is that? Probably just a bug from applying a higher resolution. Anyway, let's keep on going. It's getting 30s. 30s is a lot better than 25, that's for sure. Maybe now it's gonna be possible to play at 60 FPS using performance DLSS though at 8K, and that's gonna be the best experience, of course, at this resolution. But still, I'm curious to see whether or not it's gonna drop from 30. Oh my, that was very ballsy, dear Roach. And by the way, I just noticed, look at that VRAM usage. This is 8K with ultra textures, it looks insane, and it's using less than 12 gigs. That's how unoptimized the latest games are. And over here, it is not dropping, dude. I really thought it would drop, but of course, these settings are optimized, so they won't really drop with a lot of running water around us. It actually stood above 30 frames per second the entire time. If it dipped, it was only to like 29. And that's not really a big deal, I guess. If you log it to 30, give it a little bit of an overclock, it will stay above 30 FPS the entire time. Now, what about DLSS performance? Will that give us those 60? Nope. Oh, well, actually, yeah. Alright, so it started by getting 40 FPS, but now we're actually getting 60. Oh, it's so much smoother. Oh, this is perfect right now. Oh my goodness. Again, if you are playing at 8K for some reason, I say for some reason because if you are playing at that res, you probably have a 4090, not a 4080, but if you wanted to save a bit of money, this still can do a bit of 8K, as you can see. But yeah, it's right around 60 on average, dude. It's not getting 60 FPS or touching 60 very often around bushy areas like this one, so I guess these areas are a bit more intensive. But yeah, it gets like 50 plus all of the time, which is really damn good. And once again, with a little bit of an overclock, you could achieve a few more FPS out of this and maybe get like 63 on average instead of 58 on average. And then it would be a 60 plus FPS experience most of the time. Now, let's do the real crazy stuff. So we're gonna have to disable DLSS for this to run at higher resolutions because we need to use some resolution scale to achieve higher resolutions than 8K res. So first let's try like 12K, which is 1.5 times the 8K res. And you can see that now DLSS, well, it's not locked, but if I set it to performance, the other one will be locked. Yep. So we really need to disable DLSS, unfortunately, at these higher resolutions. So I just applied it and it says that we're running out of video memory. So maybe we just need to lower that texture quality to low. And that's gonna look like crap. Oh boy, this looks so bad. The low textures in this game are just terrible, dude. And it's getting 20s, look at that. Damn, it's getting less FPS than 8K native on ultra settings. VRAM is actually maxed out. It was using less than 12 gigabytes at 8K ultra. And now with these textures, just because it's 12K, it's maxing out the VRAM. What the hell? Some of them still look pretty interesting. Like this rock right here still looks good, even with low textures. Everything else pretty much looks like crap though. And I'm not really sure if we can do... Yeah, we cannot do higher than this. So 12K is the maximum. So that's been it for this video, my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope this was helpful to you in some way or entertaining to watch. And I'll catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.